Let's see, of course, what happens with this particular one as we stay with this story now and speak to Sasabona Manganye, Regional Secretary of the ANC in Johannesburg, who's joining us live now. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I know you're rushing off to a meeting, but I was listening to the briefing earlier on that the ANC had, and you were speaking there, and also some of the developments around this. You say that, you had nothing to do with the mayor's resignation, yet at the same time, we're hearing you say that a statement of intent, according to it, there needed to be a reconfiguration of the government of local unity as well, and that according to that statement, it's time for the ANC to take over as the party with the majority. So in light of all this, is it a coincidence that we see the mayor resigning and yet there needs to be this reconfiguration?
Good afternoon to you and your viewers. It is not correct that we said we have nothing to do with the resignation of the mayor. We have everything to do with the resignation of the mayor because we are leading what we call the government of local unity, which we have led it for some time now, before even the government of national unity. And we have been engaging on how do we reconfigure the current coalition arrangement in Johannesburg so that they can comply also with our own ANC coalition framework that requires that the party with majority must take over the mayorship, which we couldn't implement early last year due to our differences with the EFF. And the engagements we have held since early this year have came up with the results that we find each other with the coalition partners that it makes sense that the ANC should take over the mayorship as the party with the majority of councillors in the city of Johannesburg. And that is why the mayor, as part of the government of local unity, and given that decision, have then resigned so that a new mayor is elected who will still be coming from the government of local unity led by the African National Congress.
So is it about who is at the helm or is it about service delivery? And I ask this against the backdrop of what you said earlier, that in the past year, for example, around 120 cases were investigated of corruption, 50 million rand was recovered, several officials have been fired. At the same time, you talk about in the past year how services were delivered to more communities, by this government of local unity. So some would say that this is a winning formula, so why change it?
Of course, it was a winning formula. We were part of that particular formula. We played an active role in ensuring that we reverse the mess that has been created by the Democratic Alliance multi-party coalition. And the changes that are happening, it's about compliance. If you check the statement of intent for the government of national unity, it also speaks about the need for the party with majority or the biggest party to take over. That is why the ANC president is the president of the country, because of that statement of intent. So the ANC is a unitary organization. We can't implement something that does not comply with what national have resolved. This statement of intent, it's now a document that is owned by many other parties whom are signatories, and they agree with it to an extent that they even engaged with us on the need for us to take over for the mayorship of the city of Johannesburg. Of course, this takeover, it's also part of our efforts to ensure accelerated service delivery. So it's not a takeover that is just about changing one phase to another. It's also about the fact that the ANC has about 86 wards in Johannesburg, which is the majority of wards than any other party. And it makes sense that you have a mayor that comes from the ANC to ensure that the people of Johannesburg are serviced and they are led at that level of an executive mayor, but by the party leader who have enjoyed more votes than any other party. So this is done in the interest of the people of Johannesburg.
So does the AIC, according to some of the reports, I'm sure you've seen them, that, suggesting that you've agreed that maybe the AIC could lose its speaker's position, and then at the same time you say that you're not going to be throwing the outgoing mayor out in the court. So do we see a change in the speaker's position as well? And also, do we see the now outgoing mayor being redeployed rather to an MMC position?
The issue of the speaker position, it's a discussion that we are having with the Action SA. They did indicate that they have interest in the speaker. We met them on Sunday. Yesterday, we consulted with the minority parties, which include AIC. And in that particular consultation, there are certain, determination that have been made. We still need to engage our provincial leadership, which is going to happen tomorrow morning. And thereafter, we will also engage Action SA so that we can have a way forward. So far, the Speaker of Johannesburg remains Councillor Margaret Arnold, is the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, and there are no issues on the Speaker. Of course, the new executive mayor will, of course, consider the coalition arrangements and agreements in terms of, who must become a member of the mayoral committee. And definitely based on our discussion, the executive mayor was one of the people that the minorities, because it is a position for the minority bloc, who have agreed that he will be part of their priorities of the people that they will want to become members of the mayoral committee. We have agreed on that, and we have made that commitment even to the Al Jama party.
So what do you say then to the residents of Johannesburg who say that, the fact that the mayoral chain has been, changing hands for quite some time now since the local government elections, and they're worried about the stability of the city and whether or not service delivery, as you say, will indeed be prioritized over politics? What do you say to the city of Johannesburg residents?
These changes are not going to disrupt service delivery at all. The mayor's resignation is with effect from the date of council meeting, which will most probably, based on whatever decision the speaker takes, be Friday. And on Friday, the mayor will be elected, sworn in. Members of the mayoral committee will be appointed by the mayor, sworn in, and the government will continue operating as normal. It's not a disruption that will affect service delivery. So service delivery, all our mandate to the new mayor is very clear. Accelerate service delivery. There is still a lot that we need to do to ensure that people in your leadership to do so.
All right, let's see then what happens, as you say that the council meeting possibly this week. Let's see, some of those developments there. But thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. That was Sasabona Manganye, Regional Secretary of the ANC in Johannesburg.